going to turn to Tom to start us off for The Dictator.
Your lips are quivering. You're so...
He's bursting in anticipation.
Positive adrenaline.
He can't wait to just praise this film.
Yeah, I know what I want to say, and I'm thinking of the right way to articulate this.
The word is Aladdin.
The film was Aladdin.
I absolutely Aladdin'd this movie. Which is to say, I hated it. Absolutely freaking hate. I actually almost walked out about halfway through.
What was it that made you want to walk out?
I
can understand someone hating.
I wasn't really digging the rape jokes that he kept throwing in there.
You guys have a rape center?
Well, no, like stuff like that. Stuff like that satirically is fine, but it was like, then there was a joke about him raping a bunch of 14-year-old boys.
Oh, that was.
And then there was the
weird
scene where he almost rapes the pregnant woman, and it was like,
almost.
Well, he pretty much does with his hand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. leaves his phone in her uterus.
No. Seriously. There are very few movies that I would walk out on.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry.
Let me put it this way. This is a great illustration. I added it to my flick chart. Mm-hmm. And I have 2,000... At the time, I had 2,510 titles on there. And its initial ranking was at 2,503.
Wow.
So it's not the worst thing you've ever seen.
It's not the worst thing
You would really let it drop.
Like I said, the final speech, I thought, it made me smile. First of all, because I knew it was a nod to The Great Dictator. Mm-hmm. And second, because it actually contained some pretty sharp stuff.
Yeah.
Saying all these things that we already do that make us look like anything but true democracy.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen The Great Dictator before this. And so when I saw it on The Great Dictator, I was like, okay, I know that's
why he did that kind of speech.
But I wish the rest of his writing in the movie was that sharp.
Had been that sharp.
Actually, I don't know. I thought that was all like easy.
It's pretty easy.
I was like,
but
come on.
The fact that he's willing to at least to take that step and compare American democracy to a Libyan dictatorship.
That's the thing is, I pretty much agreed with everything he said, but it just seems so. It came off really flat, sort of easy. Like this is straight out of MSNBC news, or Fox News, or whatever. It's the playbook of that instead of something that's really insightful.
How did you feel about The Great Dictator?
Okay,
that's how I direct questions. Mm-hmm.
So, my feelings for this film are complicated because there are some really brilliant. First of all, that speech at the end is the most amazing speech I've seen in film.
It's the greatest monologue I think I've ever seen.
It's the greatest monologue I've ever seen. And it was so unexpected. I did not see it coming.
It's sincere.
It's sincere. I felt like Charlie Chaplin was talking to me. Mm-hmm. In the way, and like it became not a character. It became the man saying these things.
Mm-hmm. You don't see his character getting up and saying something with so much power.
Yeah, I felt like this is Charlie Chaplin made this film
for this speech. He wanted to say these things to the American people.
He definitely wanted this to be a message movie.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And honestly, it made me respect him as a man so much more. I was like, this is an amazing man, and I beyond just like one of the greatest comedians of all time and all that. Mm-hmm. This is an amazing human being that was able to articulate things that people today still fight against. So that ending sort of
he does it with a Hitler mustache.
Yeah, he does it with a Hitler mustache. And also recognizing the fact that he's able to recognize his own similarity to Hitler just physically, mm-hmm. and build a movie around that is pretty shocking and funny. Mm-hmm. And but there was that first scene where they're shooting the rockets, which is pretty funny.
Yeah,
there's a lot of this movie that felt like it should have been silent. Like when he'd speak and be like, "Why? No, don't talk."
He's still
do your thing. He's still doing a lot of the silent movie thing.
This is probably, I think I'm with Kevin on this one. I think this might have been like the first movie I sat down and watched start to finish with Charlie Chaplin. I mean, I've watched bits and pieces of his other stuff, but I've never sat down and watched the whole thing before. And I could definitely tell there were scenes from his past as a like the scene where he's dancing with the globe and
Yeah.
But in
Which my daughter loved that scene. She thought that my youngest daughter watched this with me, and she thought that scene was the best thing she'd ever seen. It's like the fact that he bounces the world off his butt was the most amazing thing she'd ever seen in her life.
Right.
But I mean, there were scenes that were clearly like from his silent film roots that I felt like they went on too long. But that was back then. They probably felt normal. But to me now, like we have such a ADD culture, pretty much that just new scene. So the fact that he's bouncing this inflatable globe around for 5-10 minutes, it's just
you have to literally like put yourself in a different mood when you watch an older film. You know,
they take their time with scenes.
Honestly, if that last scene wasn't in the movie, I would have hated this flat out.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there were funny bits, and when I saw that the last scene, a lot of the previous stuff made sense. Not made sense, but had purpose to me. And there were some parts where I was watching it, and I had my headset on, and the kids were watching TV, and I'm laughing out loud, and they're going, "Oh, what are you watching?" I said, "No, nothing. It's just something you won't get. You're way too young to understand this." And there were some good parts, and I agree with what you said in the beginning. I enjoyed more when it went into scenes that could have been in a full silent feature movie. And I thought those were done very well. There was some of the other stuff where it kind of missed. I do have to say, though, from seeing this from both sides, when he was silent, when he was talking, I am a little interested to see some of his other stuff. Because honestly, before that, I had no desire to really see anything from Chaplin. Yeah. So I knew he was a very well-respected, very talented actor. But I was like, okay, it's...
Actor, writer, director, producer.
Yeah.
I writes the music.
Still...
Yeah, he was a composer.
Even so, but you're talking, like you said, 75 years ago, that's 3 generations. Yeah. That's a long freaking time.
And it is culture. It's like watching a movie from a different country. There's cultural differences there that are hard to overcome. There's jokes that you realize should be landing but aren't landing because you don't get the joke.
We lost.
Oh, there you go.
300.
Nice.
I think any question will work with that.
It's the joke question that we have for Tom. Is it better than Citizen Kane?
Yes.
To be fair, I haven't officially watched Citizen Kane.
It's just good to see this question with Tom here.
I know.
We can have a Citizen Kane night. We'll watch Citizen Kane. We'll watch the 2 commentaries on Citizen Kane by Robert Ebert.
And I'll fall asleep within 20 minutes.
We'll watch Battle for Citizen Kane, which is a documentary about Citizen Kane. Then we'll watch RKO 287.
Or we can watch The Room and Dynamite.
Now, in your 4 to 5 pieces, how much of my life am I going to give up?
All of
Probably
it.
a day.
All of it. By the end, you're just going to...
Watch Citizen Kane.
No, I
know,
yeah.
Citizen Kane.
No, I agree.
It's a very important film.
It's important.
Why? Why is it important? And I'm not disagreeing.
Citizen
I'm
Kane,
curious.
okay. Most of the standard filmmaking techniques that are used today were started by Orson Welles with Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Okay.
He completely revolutionized American cinema.
I remember Orson Welles from when I was growing up, and he was just, whenever his name was mentioned, there was a tremendous amount of respect that went with it for a lot of, and I at the time didn't know why, but it was there. That was attached to his name.
It's still
the thing
very
is,
well
you
shot. When you watch
Citizen Kane, and you're like, "What's the big deal?" But the problem is because you're seeing things that basically were started with Citizen Kane, so you're used to them, so you don't see it as a big deal. But what you don't realize is this is where it all started.
When did that?
He innovated all these
1941.
Okay.
Around the same time as The Great Dictator.
That's what I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying to
it
put
feels like a
perspective
modern film.
To other films,
it really does.
Just before it. Maybe I'll watch a few of those just before Citizen Kane came out to see maybe some differences that it brought. So, okay.
300 is not better than Citizen Kane.
No.
Okay.
Although
so much.
although